I hope my voice is audible to you. You can just react on your profile. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you, guys. So I have disabled the chat just because like there are certain things, okay, like students would start to spam on it before even I explain certain things. So that's the reason why I have disabled it. The moment when I'm done with the explanation and tell you about the, since this is our final week, after once everything is done, I'll be opening up the chat to you so that it will be helpful to you. Okay, so that you can just put your 100% concentration here. And the session is getting recorded, so don't worry about it. You will get the recorded as well as the instructions that are necessary for you to have a smooth submission. Okay, so don't worry about that. The first and foremost thing for the week 3, like we have a bit of coding that is left out, right? That is the deployment. For the deployment, what we do is that we will locally deploy it, and for that we have to write a script. So we're going to use something called as Streamlit. So I'll show that to you. So I will share my screen and I'll start explaining it to you like what it is and how to write the script file. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so this is my screen, as you all can see. So what happens is that you have to move to your new, the folder that you have created, right? So you're gonna go to your folder, and within the folder, we were going to select the water. So these are the files that we have. So what I'll do here is I'm going to use the Visual Studio Code. So this is the basic interface what you have, right? And on the left side, you can see there is a folder option, so which is also called as Explorer. So when you click on this Explorer, what will happen is that it will ask you to open a folder, right? So you are going to click on the open folder. It will ask you where you want to move into the folder. Now on the desktop, as I showed you, right? So here we need the water quality prediction. So our project is water quality prediction, and I'm going to click on open. So as I open this one, on the left side, you are able to see, right? The files that were already been saved. So say for example, we have pickle file, that is pollution model columns, right? And we have the data set here as well as our IPYNB file. So if you click on this IPYNB file, it's going to open. Now this we have done it in the previous class, right? So we don't need to worry about this. Let me close this. Now what you need to do is that you can just come over here on the top. It says new file, right? As you all can see, when you click on that, so it will ask you what should be the file name. Now here we are trying to create a script here. So I'm going to name this file as app, means app, and I want the script to be in Python. So only here in this particular case, you will have py. So when you give the extension of the py, look at that. So just look over here on the left side. When I write py, so the icon changed, right? So this is Python extension. Similarly, look at this. This is Jupyter Notebook extension. So that is how it's going to go. Now, as soon as you're done, you're going to just press enter or written on the keyboard. And this is how your script should look like. So let me zoom this up a bit for you so that you can able to see. Yeah, this is sufficient, I guess. So first and foremost thing, you're going to click on the Explorer and move to your folder, right? Within your folder, you will have all the file. And here on the top, you're going to click on the new file and you will name the file as app, right? And the extension should be Python. Extension should be Python. So once you give the extension as Python, what happens? It becomes a Python format. Okay. Now what you need to do here is, if you are very new for this, okay, if this is your very first time that you're doing this, I'll try to tell you one thing before writing this. Yeah. So on the top right side, you can see that there are some windows that you can open. See, when I click on this, I get the left part, that is Explorer, right? So I can toggle it on and off. Similarly, I can have the panel here. So when I click on the panel, what happens is you have problems, output, and many other things that would be there, right? So initially what I need is I need to move towards the terminal. So this is the terminal. So my path is like this. Mine is Mac, right? So for you, it will be like your folder, okay, path of the folder. So first, if you're installing it for the first time, the Streamlit, I have to do like this, pip install Streamlit. Okay, so once you press enter, it should start, collating all those necessary files. All the things should go up there. Now I have already installed it on my system, so it will say requirement already satisfied. Okay, so try to do that. Once you are done, only then start to write the script. Okay, otherwise it will say like Streamlit library or module is not found, right? So some kind of another error would pop up there. So what is the thing that we need to write it in the script? Why is it necessary? So what I'll do here is I'm going to say like, we will try to import all the necessary libraries that is required for the script to run. So let's say, for example, import pandas as PD, import numpy, right? So we also need that as np. And next we need to import joblib, right? So we have set it as a pickle, right? So you can use this, or otherwise you can directly import the pickle also, import pickle. Okay, the most important library is Streamlit. So import Streamlit as SD. So I'm going to import Streamlit as SD, alias it as SD. Now, what I'll do here is I want to load the model first. Okay, before doing anything, I want to load the model. So let us load the model, and let us also load the structure of that also. Since we have saved two files, can you all see here? Model columns is a structure, right? It is nothing but structure. So let us do that. So how can we import that? So these models are already there in our folder. So we are going to just call it So how can we do that? So model is equal to, we will take the help of joblib dot load. Okay, so we got the load here. Now what I'm going to do, I want to name it. Be careful about the spelling. It should be like, you should worry about the capital letters or small letters. So import the model, that is solution underscore model dot pickle file. Okay, so we are loading this model onto model here. Similarly, model underscore columns. I think, yeah, I can call it like this, model underscore columns. I'm going to take the help of joblib dot load, same, right? So we are going to, what is the name of that? It is model underscore columns, right? So be careful about the spellings and also the format extension. So now what we have done is that we imported the necessary libraries. Based on the necessary libraries, the model will be imported. So once the model is done, we want to have a user interface, right? So let us create user interface. Let us create an user interface. So we will just say like, what are the main things that we need is, let us have a title, right? So first let me show you about the title. So here I'm going to use the Streamlit. So sd dot title. So what should be the title here? We can give any title we want. Now what we are doing is water pollutants, right? So pollutants prediction, instead of prediction, shall I say predictor, right? So this might sound good. So let this be the title. Now within the title, I want to have to select certain things, right? So what I'll say here is st.write. So when I take the write, so it's gonna say like whatever I want it to have, predict the water pollutants, right? Water pollutants. Is this enough? Predict the water pollutants based on year and station ID, right? So based on year and station ID. So I guess you know that station ID is 1 to 22, right? So like this. So we have done that. Now we want to take the user inputs. So let us say like, what are the user inputs? User has to give two inputs. What are they? They have to give the year and they have to give the ID, right? So this is what we did in our previous class. So we will say year underscore input. So I'm gonna say like streamlit dot. So when we are taking the year, it should be in number, right? So number input, and we will say enter year, right? So we will say the enter year. Now let us take the station ID. So station underscore ID is equal to streamlit dot. So when we are taking the ID, so we could take the values that are numbers as well as text, right? So I'll show you how the text is also taken. Okay, in both ways you will be able to understand. Text input, we will say like enter station ID. Okay, now let us see how our interface would look like. Okay, so it's, as a programmers we know that, right? So we do not want to write everything at a one shot, and no one can do that actually. So how to run this? So this will be the problem, right? So sir, how do I know like how to run this? So in order to run this Streamlit, first try to save this command as, will use the syntax streamlit run app.py. Streamlit run, look at this, streamlit run app.py. Now when you press enter, so this is going to open on my default browser. So on my default browser, it will start to run. Now look at this. So what was our code? We said our title should be water pollutant predictor. Look at this. Title is water pollutants predictor, right? Next, just below that, we want to predict. We want to say predict the water pollutants based on year and station ID. Predict the water pollutants based on the station and year ID. So we want to enter the year. Okay, so when I gave number here, what will happen is here is that you can increase it like this. So this is not in a correct form. See, I got to know something. Similarly for station ID, we can give it, right? So what we'll try to do here is, where is this? Yeah, for enter year, I'll try to say, let us have something called as minimum value, right? So minimum value, I think let it be 2022, and I will say the maximum value. So maximum value over here, I think it could be 2100. So that is good for prediction. I mean, you can predict it only for 40-50 years. So that later, what kind of technology we have, we don't know, right? It might change. So for the value, I think for default value, let me set it to 2000. So similarly for station ID, I think for station ID, I will keep the value as default as 1, right? So when I keep this as 1 here, you need to be careful. I have taken text here, right? Text input. So I'll just put them in the quotes. Okay, so let me command S. And in order to stop this, we can use command Z over here, right? So again, I'm going to run the same thing, streamlit run app.py. Now let us see if it has changed anything here. Okay, so the value is less than the minimum value. Okay. So minimum value, we will keep this as 2000, right? This value, let us keep it as 2022, because from 2022 we have to do the prediction, right? Okay, so I got that. Yeah, look at this. Now what happened? we are going to enter the year, right? You can delete this. You can say 2025 also. Press enter and it will be taken. What is the station? 22. Press enter, it will take. Okay. So now this is our user interface, right? So this is what we got. Now we need to connect them together and we need to make them to predict based on our model, right? The model has been there already, pickle model. So let me close this and say like, okay, close this also. Yes, we'll come over here, or these are the things that we have. Now what I'll do here is that we need to encode and predict, right? So first we need to encode and then predict. So how do I do the encode? So first what I'll do here is if st.button, so button means you need to click on something, right? That's a button. I want to name this button as predict. Okay. And if st.button, it's gonna get into that particular one. If not, station underscore ID, I'm going to say warning, please enter the station ID. So supposedly when you click on the button, if there is nothing there, right? If the station ID is empty, so we will create a warning there. Or otherwise, if everything is done neatly, what we'll do here is let us prepare the input. Now, what is our input actually? So we will say input data frame, because we need to create a data frame. If you have seen our previous one, we created that pd.data frame, right? So I'm going to create something called as year. And when you are passing this to the year, we need to have that to be with respect to the year input. Okay, so I created a key and the value here. Similarly, what we'll try to do here is we will try to create another key, that is ID. So ID should have the value of station ID. Sorry, like I'm pretty much used for Jupyter Notebook, so this is little tricky. Station ID. Okay, now input encoded. So we want to encode them, right? So when you want to encode, what are you going to use? You're going to use get dummies, right? So pd.get dummies. What you want to encode that? So you want to encode that which says input underscore data frame, right? So this is the data. And which column do you want to encode? So I'm going to say columns is equal to, I want to encode that column which says ID, right? So we are done with the encoding part. So this is done. Now what's going to happen here is that the pollution model already has the data, right? It model already has some columns. Whether those columns are actually in in alignment with our columns or not, we need to check it. So what I'll say here is align with model columns. So what does it mean for column in model underscore columns here? Can you all see this? Model underscore columns. If column not in, where do we get the column? We get the column in the input, right? Input encoded, right? Dot columns. Then input encoded, right? Yeah, input encoded of that column should be assigned as 0. Say for example, so we have model columns, right? Model columns.pickle file. So there are the column structures, like what should be first, what should be next, right? It should not be jumbled up. So if that column is not found, it has to assign 0. It should not throw us any error. So that is the reason why we have assigned it as 0. So that means to say input encoded is equal to input underscore, encoded of model columns. Okay, so we have aligned it also. What is the next thing that we want to do? We want to predict it. So how are you going to predict it? So predicting is very simple. You will take predicted pollutants. So I'm just going to say predicted pollutants are nothing but model.predict based on what? Based on the input of encoded columns. And I want the very first values of those. So the same thing is done in our previous class. So I think you don't need much of the explanation there. So what are the pollutants we have? So we have the pollutants in the form of O2. Next, what do we have? I forgot the structure actually. We have the O2. Next, what we have here is, let me open this. O2, NO3, O2, NO3. Next, what did we have? I guess we had NO2, right? Nitrous oxide. And next, NO2 is also done. SO4, PO4. Okay. SO4, PO4, and last one is chloride, right? Cl. So these are the pollutants what we have on our hand. Now, the moment when they hit the predict button, so we need to have a subheader for that. So I'm creating subheader, and what I want here is predicted pollutant levels for the station. So we will try to take the station ID here, right? For that specific station ID we want. So I'm going to say station, and next let us say with respect to year also, right? With respect to year, right? Yeah, this looks fine. Next, we're gonna say predicted values. So we will start to say create an empty dictionary there for P. Remember this, we did this in our previous class. Do you all remember this? This one, P and val in zip, right? So we're gonna do the same thing. Okay, we're not gonna change anything. So P comma val in pollutants comma predicted. What was that? Predicted pollutants. Pollutants. I want them to be printed. How do I want it to be printed? So I'm going to use stwrite. I will try to use f string here. What are the things that I need? I need the value of p, right? Value of p, right? And I need the values also. So this will be in the form of dictionary, right? So what did I give? Val there, right? So I gave the val here. So val will also be there, and I want it to have the floating point, I mean, sorry, decimal places of 2 decimal places. Okay, so this would be fine. So let me save this. Command S. We'll try to run this now. Where is my cursor? Yeah, we'll try to run this. So how do we run? Again, same thing. Streamlit continuous space run run space. What is the name of the script you have that you have to save it? App.py. Press enter on the keyboard. Okay. What did I do? Perhaps you forgot a comma. Okay, so there is that we usually take double over here. Okay, sometimes this happens. Yeah, so I guess now it's fine. Let us run this. Yeah, look at this. So we have predict the water pollutants based on year station ID. So we will take 2022. So station ID, we'll try to give 22, right? Press enter, click on predict. Year. So for year, what did I give actually? Year input, right? Year underscore input. Command S. Let us run this. Yeah, look at this, right? So I'm going to say 22 because in the previous class we did this, right? So in the previous class, where is that? We did here, we want to for station number 22, 2024. Okay, so 2024, enter. Station 22, enter. Predict 12, 6.88, 0.13, 143, right? So we got the same answer, 67.33. Now this is the script that is used in the form of like a GUI, right? So like a graphical user interface. People will like it because this is really helpful. Like it says water input. Okay, so behind this is what you have worked with the machine learning, and this is something like your interface, right? So the front end that you need to work on. So there are lots of other ways also you can improvise this. Now you can put a tabular form for this, right? And you can have the snowflake coming out. Also, there are lots of effects that this you can do by default. Like since I'm teaching this to the students starting from the very in the novice state, right? So that is the reason why I have held it here. Okay, so what are the code that we wrote here was to simply start. We imported all the libraries, we imported the models and the columns, structure of the column. So if you want to change this, you can change the title, you can write this. We are taking the input from the user. So the minimum value should be 2000, maximum value for 2100. So I am keeping this value to 2022. You can change this however you want. Okay, there are no hard and fast rule for that. Station ID 1 to 22. So I'm keeping it default as 1, and you can enter whatever you want. And if you want to give the input as a number, you can change that. I wanted to show you, right, that both number and text can also be given. So that's the reason why I have done that. So we want to, the moment when you press the predict, what should happen is that the year what you have done, right, inputted, and the ID, they both have to be formed into a CSV file, right? So we call that as a data frame. So we want to create a data frame here. Once the data frame is created, I want to encode the IDs. So 1, 2, 3, whatever ID was there, I want to encode it, because that is how we have created the model. And once this is all done, there might be a problem there where it is certain things where like columns are aligned or not. So that is where we are trying to check with the columns. And once it is all done, we are going to take the very first value that we are going to get, like O2 and O3 based on that. And we are going to predict it, and all the predicted values, it should be stored in a dictionary form. So when you know that in a dictionary form you will have a key as well as a value. So for p and value, there is key and value in the pollutants and predicted pollutants, which is we have zipped it, right, means contained it. So we are going to write the value of p, the first, the value of this for 2 decimal places. Okay, so if you want it to have say like in terms of percentages, you can just multiply it, but however here we are not doing the percentages. You can also use the unit like microgram per meter cube, right? So all the other things that is required for you, you can do that. Okay, so let me save this file. So this file should be in the same folder where you have model columns and pollution model and your IPYP file. Okay, so try to make sure that all the files are in the same folder. If you make any changes, even if you make any spelling mistakes, so it will not work. So kindly be careful. Second thing is try to install Streamlit if you have not installed it, if you're like new to it. Okay, so this ends for us our project, right? In the first week we did some coding, second week we did the modeling, in the third week what we did was we are doing the Streamlit part, deployment part, and in here deployment we are doing it on a local system. So anybody who wants to do it on the like Streamlit.io or anything of that sort, so you have to take the this, put that in your GitHub, and obviously you have to sign in for the Streamlit.io, and then you have to run it from there. Okay, so anyway, that's a different thing. So this is more than sufficient for anyone who's learning new. So kindly make sure that if you have any doubts regarding any of these things, you can ask me a little later, because now I'm going to show you what is the presentation, what you need to do, what you don't have to do, right? What you shouldn't do. Okay, so for this, let me close it for a brief moment. I'm going to open the whiteboard. I want to explain certain things to you. So whiteboard online. Now, what are the important things of week 3? So week 3 is the final week. We do not have week 4. So in the week 4, you will those who do well, so they will be selected for top 60, right? So that is what we're going to do. Now, let it load for a moment. Let me explain that to you. Yeah, let me close this. I got the pen. So first and foremost thing. Now, since you are already done, we are done with week 1. We are also done with week 2. Now we are in week 3. So week 3 is where you are going to do final presentation. Okay. Is my screen visible to you all? You can just put thumbs up reaction. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So final presentation over here. So the final presentation, I'm going to give you a template, which I'll show you to you also. Okay, so I'll show you a template, and this template should contain the part of source code as well as your Git link. Okay, let me start. So we will give you a template which is also available on your LMS also, don't worry about it, but still I'm going to provide you one about the template, and this template has 9 slides. So what you will do here is you I'm sorry, you have to fill information there. Okay, you have to fill information there in the slides. So once you fill the information, what you will do here is you need to abide certain rules. What are the rules? You should not change. You should not change themes, colors, right, or anything. So it should be as how it is being given to you. So try to maintain that. Next, you can have minimum of 9 slides, maximum of 15 slides. Like say, for example, I have given you a template which has only 9 slides. You will say, sir, I want to add a little more information. I want to showcase myself. Of course, you are more than welcome. So you can go up to 15 slides. Okay, so within these slides, you can put the information. You can also put the what do you call that, screenshot, right? Screenshot of your project. You can use any code or explanation wherever it is required, right? And lastly, what you will do is you will talk about the future scope of that also. Okay, so these are the things that you're going to do. Now, coming to the submission part, I'll show you the presentation, don't worry. So coming to the submission part, when you go to the LMS, okay, so you will see, I guess, final project submission, okay, final week or final project. There are certain changes. So you will see this, okay, submission. When you click on this, it will ask you 2 files. It will ask you 2 files. So you have to submit the final PPT file, and you have to also submit the source code. You have to submit the source code. So source code is nothing but what? Your IPYNB file. Okay, so some of you will ask me, sir, you did py file, do I need to upload that also? No, that is not required. What you do, you upload only the IPYNB file. Okay, so do not worry about the script file, leave the script file, upload only the IPYNB file. However, in the PPT, make sure that in one of the slides, talk about the deployment, what you did, right? Streamlit, how did you use it? And also put the Git link of it. So that is where when someone opens your presentation, he or she should know, our evaluators should know that, okay, this student has not only modeled, he or she has also deployed, and they have put the Git link. They will go and serve your Git link, and they will start to understand. And this is how the selection is going to happen. Now, next thing is top 60. Okay, so what happens is that, so there are like, say, we have somewhere, I think we have somewhere around 3,100 students who are actually attending, I mean, all the 5 projects. Okay, so within the 3,100 students, we have to select 60. So our evaluators, okay, will start to evaluate all the presentation that is being submitted. They will individually open the PPT. They will start to read it. So when they start to read it, the flow should be very neat. Okay, it should be legible, and it should have the clarity, right? So everything should be there, and flow of content should also be there. Okay, flow of content should be there. So anybody who's possessing all the good qualities, I mean, the PPT possessing all these good qualities, so it will be selected. So from this to top 60, it will be selected. Once top 60 has been selected, these students will be asked to give a virtual presentation. So they will be asked to give a virtual presentation. So like you will be staying at home, right? While giving the presentation, you can be at school, home or wherever you want it to be. So you can give the virtual presentation. And the students who are giving good presentation, like, if some evaluator asks you any kind of a question, if you are able to do that, so they will be selected for top 40, like filtered off. And lastly, it will be filtered off to top 3. So what will happen if I get selected for top 60 or top 40 or top 3 is only one thing, that is regional showcase. Okay, so which region you will belong to if you have been selected. So they, like Karnataka or Maharashtra, right? So in that particular region, it will be showcased. So you can give the presentation again there virtually also. Okay, but all these things will be communicated to you by Miss Nikita. Okay, so she will tell you when the presentation is there along with the CSV files. And don't worry, this will usually start after 5:30 p.m. just like how it is going to start. Okay, if anybody is not able to make it, if they're selected, kindly talk to Nikita. Okay, so let us see like what the other alternatives or arrangements that could be done, but it is solely left to her. Okay, so this is how the flow of things are there. Okay, and coming for the most important thing, everyone asks us about like whether they get the certificate or not, right? The certification is very important. So coming for the certificate, remember students, if you have been, okay, if you have been having eligible, if you have eligible attendance, say greater than 70%, right? 70 or 70%. And if you have submitted weekly reports, weekly milestone, they say, right? Milestone. So you will be getting the certificate. You will be getting the certificate. Okay, so don't worry about that. If you have done this, okay, sir, I have 70% attendance, good. If you have submitted weekly milestone, yes, good. Only then you will get the certificate. Now, top 60. If you have been selected for top 60 or not, top 60 and others will get same certificate. Same certificate. So there is not much of a thing. But when they give the regional showcase, they might get a different certificate there in the regional showcase. So that is like, the plans are still up in the air. We cannot finally say that. Okay, so this is how it is. If anybody doesn't have the attendance and they have not done the weekly milestone properly, they will not get the certificate. So this is the major rule that we have. And I guess even in the orientation, Nikita might have told you, right? She has told you already about all these things. Okay. Next one. When will we get the certificate? People will ask us a lot of questions. When? Now, kindly be aware of one thing. Certificate has to be approved by AICTE. Okay, All India, I guess, technical education, right? Council for Technical Education. It's a government body. Okay, it's a government body and it has to approve it. Now, to get approved, so it may take some time. So like as soon as you are done with submission of the project, you cannot expect like, sir, I have submitted, where is my certificate? Don't send these messages. So kindly have patience. It will take some time. I cannot give you, right? I cannot give you a timeline, but it will take some time. So sometimes it could be like a week, a month, right? So anyway, I'm not saying that it will go beyond that, but be careful that AICTE has to approve. And you know that there are thousands and thousands of colleges under AICTE. Okay, so these are the basic things that you need to know. I have explained it. Now let me open the presentation and I'll show you like what is the important thing. And once it is done, then we will have the discussion about the any questions or anything that you have. Can you all see my PPT template? Okay, thank you guys. Now when you come over here, let's draw. Okay, yeah, so when you come over here, see, this is our shell logo and this is our EduNet Foundation, right? And you have this name of project. Now no one should change, whatever be the circumstances, no one should change theme. No theme change, okay, or any modification, nothing is allowed. If anyone does that, they will be disqualified. And please do not say that, sir, I have submitted, but I changed the theme, so help me out. No, I can't do that. Okay, so this is a major thing. That's the reason why I have taken time and explaining it to you. Do not change theme, do not change any like movement of our logo or anything of that sort. Okay, keep it as it is. So what you're going to do here is that you will come over here and you're going to like click on this name of the project. So your name of the project is nothing but water quality, right? Water quality prediction, and you will use your complete name below that, right? Complete name, and you will give the student ID here. Okay, so student ID is something long that is already there probably on your LMS or your offer letter, right? Kindly go through it and try to understand about that. So it's going to be like that. So you have to use that. Okay, and coming for the next one, so here comes the learning objectives and other things. So what are the learning objectives that you have looked into this specific project that you need to mention it here? Like say for example, learning objective like you are able to understand, right? So understand what did we use here? Actually random forest regressor, right? So we use random forest regressor. Next we have also used like the process of building it, right? So how did you build or trained it? So try to mention about that. And how did you analyze the accuracy, or we will say RMSE, right? RMSE and R square score. So try to talk about all these things. Okay, so this could be like 5 to 6 points, majorly 5 to 6 points. Okay, and please do not personally message me and say like, sir, the text box is going on the goal and all. Try to manage that between. Okay, so you're all engineering or the students who's going to get the job, so try to manage them, and no matter whatever happens, so try to keep everything within this specific scope. Okay, next one, tools and technologies. I guess most of you can say this, right? So what is the programming language you used, right? So what was the programming language? I guess we use Python, right? So we use Python. And if you have used any other deployment softwares, you can name like I use for deployment, I use Streamlit, right? So this is the library I used. You can say like that. Okay. So try to specify all those things, and that would be really good. Talk more about the libraries. Okay. Next is methodology. So how did you come up with this? Like, what is the first thing that you did? So when we started, we did something called as data collection. So first one is data collection, right? What was the second thing you did? So once you collect it, you pre-process the data. So data pre-processing, right? And what is the third thing that you can do? You can go for model selection. So you will start to select the model. And the fourth one, you can, you started with training, right? So once you train the model, obviously you will evaluate the model. And sixth one is you did the local deployment, right? So local deployment, you can talk about that. So having these things. Next is problem statement, most important thing. What is your problem statement that you have to come? Please do not, again, same thing. Do not ask me, sir, what is the problem statement? You have to describe the real world problem here. So one time I just wrote a problem statement. Every student, I mean, I will not say every, most of the students copied the same thing. So try to describe the real world problem here. Okay, so write that statement. What was the problem that you had? Try identify. First, you have to identify the problem, right? Once you identify, what will happen is that like you will start to say, how did you come up with these things? Like while identifying, we identified the solvents were too much, right? Anything of that sort. So try to talk about that. So I'm minimizing it. So next is solution. How did you come up with the solution? So in the solution part, I think you can specifically mention that I used random forest regressor and any other regressor. If you have used, try to tell them I have trained the model. So this model is able to come up with an accuracy of such and such, right? So talk about the accuracy, and more importantly, what were the pollutants we had. The pollutants I guess we had was O2, NO3, I guess NO2, next SO4, PO4, if I remember this, right? So based on these, we found the increase or decrease in the values of these pollutants, and we want to clean this out. So we started to do something called as prediction. So this prediction could go up to 2100, right? We are in 2025, so we can just predict up to 2100. So next is screenshots. So as I told you, try to have the screenshot well within this particular box. Okay, if you want, you can cut down this and like have screenshot 1, screenshot 2. And if you want to add still more, sir, I want to add more because I've worked on it, right? So you are obviously welcome to do that. All you got to do here is right click and you have something called as duplicate slide, right? So click on the duplicate slide and start to add furthermore. Right, as I told you, you can add up to 15 slides. So go on with it. So okay, yeah. So there, I think they have missed one specific slide which talks about the future scope. Okay, so we'll do one thing, then we will do conclusion. So try to conclude. Okay, so conclude means summarize. So try to summarize your entire project. Try to summarize the entire project. Talk only about the key values, keywords, okay, that are pretty much necessary, and you talk about the future scope. So that means to say like, what are the other advancements that I can do here, right? So try to add them, and most importantly here, try to add the Git link. Okay, so if someone says like, sir, conclusion, I have a lot of things, try to add them in the solution. Okay, so there are 2 slides where you can add the Git link. So either add it in the solution slide or you can add it in the conclusion slide. Okay, so this is how it's going to go. So I guess I'm going to open the chat and we can have conversation for 10 minutes, I guess. And again, we can meet up in the AMA also, ask me anything session. So that's it. Okay, so let me go back here. Where is, okay, just a second. Yeah, settings, meeting, apply. And I forgot to tell you about the last date actually. So last submission date, right? Last submission date is today is 30th, right? We will go for 6th. Okay, so I'm going to give you ample time here, 6th July, that is Sunday. No, there are no rough PPTs and other things. Okay, so whatever I have explained here, you have to go with that. Just go to the recording, that's it. Yes, weekly submission after week 2 is considered. I'm going to cut down week 1 for you. So from week 2 onwards, we're going to consider. Okay, I mean, only for a few students, they asked me about that. So from week 2. Okay, and next is I have uploaded all the meetings. Okay, maybe you do not have the recording of what do you call that session actually, master session, I guess. That's it. Apart from that, I have uploaded everything. The IP20 file, yes, that is what we have submitted last week, right? You're gonna take that and you're gonna take the script file, right? I mean PPT file. Okay, So what are the two files that we have here is you need to understand that basically you will be trying. Okay, let me write this once again, just a second. So stop spamming, kindly wait. Let me explain that to you. Yeah. So final date is 4th July 2025, which is nothing but Sunday. Okay, so by 11 p.m. 11 p.m. Try to submit that. And what was the other question? I actually forgot that. What are the two files you asked, right? Yeah. So what are the two files that needs to be submitted? So two files that needs to be submitted are file number one is your final PPT, and file number two is your source code. So what is source code here? .ipynb, not py, only ipynb. So these two files you need to submit. I have already given you ipynb file, so you don't need to worry much about that. You need to create your own presentation. So that I can't do that. Oh, fourth. Okay, sorry. Fourth is Friday, right? So sixth. Okay, sixth is Sunday. I'm sorry, thank you. You can change the font. Okay, so that is left to you. You can change the font whatever you want. You have the station ID from 1 to 22. You can change whatever you want between 1 to 22. Nothing much more than that. So while taking the screenshots, okay, so try to take 4 screenshots. I guess, I'm just saying what is good, but you can go up to whatever extent you want. You can take one for model, right, algorithm, for example, and next one for evaluation, next one for prediction, right, and deployment, something like this. So 4 screenshots would really look fine, and you can crop it however necessary. Okay, like you do not take the complete thing and put that on your slide. Try to crop it very neatly and put them inside. Okay. So in the PPT, so you have a separate slide for screenshot. Okay, so kindly use screenshot in that particular slide. No, all the files, source code file, I have saved it in the ipynb file. Try to save again in the ipynb file and upload the same file. Don't try to go for py. I mean, like, why? I don't know. I don't understand why students who do not understand the difference between py and ipynb. Anyway, that is left to you because I've been keep on repeating to you people. This is very easy for you to move ahead, right? It's a Jupyter notebook file, but here you have to. If there is a single issue with within the script, you will be having an issue to run it entirely. So I will try to share what are the things that I will be sharing with you, right? So I will, try to have some patience. Okay, again, 6:30 I have another class. So what I'll try to share you is first one, I'll share you the recording of this session, right? You'll get the session recording on the WhatsApp, and you will also get the PPT template. Okay, empty PPT template will also be there with you, and I will also give you the instructions, right? So whatever I have told you here, the same instructions I will type it and I will try to send it. So these are the deliverables that I will be getting it to you. Okay. I mean, you're all students who are doing coding project. Don't ask me how to take screenshots and what to take screenshots and all. Okay, that is all left to you. Yeah, if you want, you can take. I mean, deployment part, try to take the web part. So that will be very helpful to you. Try to take the web part screenshot, right? When I told you the deployment part here, try to take the one which opens in the web. Try to take that. That will be fine. So all your submissions will be checked only after you submit, and the mentors can't check it. Okay, so mentors can't check if you have submitted or not. So once the deadline is done, only then we will get an Excel sheet where it is being submitted or not. Okay, so that is how it's going to go. So I cannot tell you like how it's been done or not. So all these recordings I have already submitted. So kindly do not ask me again and again that you do not have hold of it. Okay, so ask your friends, or you could have ping me in the this WhatsApp. I could like again I could repost that, or ask your friends about that. See, last any meeting that I think it was AMA and master session, only that link is not there. So AMA had some issues. Okay, AMA had some issues. Master session, I need to ask the other mentor. So you need the recordings of mentorship. So this is there always. So try to check with that. So on the LMS, you will have on the LMS when you open it, weekly project, final week project, you'll have two options. So one it says PPT, one it says source code. So when you click on this text box or whatever box, okay, when you click on this, you will be able to upload PPT. Okay, and here you're going to upload ipynb file over here. Once you submit it, so it will be taken in. So it will be taken as submit. And say for example, some unknown reason that you want to add something into PPT, try to add, modify, and try to resubmit it. So even that will also be taken. But everything should be done within the deadline. That's it. You have to create the model pollution file. I mean, like, I guess some of the students were asking some weird questions. They have not even worked on the project, I guess. No, they will not ask anything about master session. Don't worry about that, right? So don't worry. So it's all about the mentoring session, right? On every Mondays, whatever I taught you, that is the thing. I'm not going to repeat the things again and again. Okay, so even I'm a human and I need to go for my next sessions. Okay, so look at the recording, you will get to know a lot of things. That's it. Okay, any other questions? Any other proper questions? From week 1 till now, I have given every file, everything on my GitHub, including the recording properly, of course, except for AMA and master session. And you have to follow that up, and you need to understand what it is there. Okay, so do not keep on asking me just like like you're all engineering students and you're going to get a job there. And if you're asking me the things which I've already given to you on your hands, and why do you have to do that? So ipynb file, you have done it in the second week, right? In the second week, you have already done with the ipynb file. So the same ipynb file, you're going to use it and you're going to submit it. What else is there? Is that really hard for you? The only thing that you need to work on is a py, that is a script file for app creation using the Streamlit. So do not upload this, leave it. So upload only ipynb file, which is from the week 2. That's it. Okay, I think my time is done. I need to go for my next session. Okay, thank you guys. Have a safe evening. Take care of yourselves and kindly help your friends out. Okay, so they're asking the same questions again and again. So yeah, bye bye.